Just over 30 miles away from the Slovenian capital, this alpine lake looks like it belongs on the cover of a storybook. With a fairy tale cliffside castle, an emerald green freshwater lake, and views of some of the highest peaks of the Julian Alps, Lake Bled and its island church make a postcard-perfect scene. To visit the Assumption of Mary Church, you must catch a ride on a wooden boat known as a plenta. Plentas have been taking visitors to the island in the middle of the lake for centuries. Once reaching the island, it's a 99 stone-step climb to reach the entrance to the church. It is said that if a groom could carry his bride up these steps and ring a wishing bell at the top, the marriage would be a happy one. The church is most famous for this bell, which was made in the early 16th century and is said to be a gift from the Pope. Legend has it this was the church's second bell. The first was bought for the church by an inconsolable widow in honor of her late husband, who was murdered and then thrown into the lake. When boatmen brought it across to the church, an unexpected storm hit and the bell sunk to the bottom. It is said, if you listen closely in the dead of night, you can hear the sunken bell ringing from the depths of this picturesque lake.
A 2-hour boat ride off the coast of Colombia is an island, the most densely populated island on Earth. Santa Cruz del Islote consists of more than 1,200 people living on land the size of 2 soccer fields, making it 4 times as dense as Manhattan. On the island is a school that runs up to the 10th grade, 2 shops and 1 restaurant. There is no steady supply of water and a sole generator that only runs for 5 hours per day. There are no police, but there isn't much need for them, as everyone on the island knows each other. 150 years ago, the island was primarily uninhabited and was sometimes used by local fishermen as a place to rest and take shelter during storms. Gradually, some fishermen came to build their homes here. These were the grandparents and great-grandparents of the current generation of residents. Despite the close living quarters, inhabitants on the island say they wouldn't give up their peaceful existence for anything, not even a little more room.
What do you say to people who just say, this is not a normal way of living?
Thank you very much.
I'm Catherine, and this is my husband, Wayne.
I'm Wayne, and welcome to Freedom Cove. We live in a secluded cove. The only options we have to get here is by water. There are no road accesses. The water is our highway.
Everything that you see here in our home is floating. We are tied to shore with lines. We are not anchored. We have our main living house. We have the dance floor, the lighthouse building, 4 greenhouses. As I started to grow the garden and make it larger, then we had to have more space for that garden.
Everything's done with a handsaw and hammer. No power tools. I know every board and nail by name. It's about 500 tons, 1 million pounds that I'm floating. I've been building tree forts since I was 7.
Yeah.
And I said, well, Dad, I'm putting a tree fort in the ocean.
Do you ever get seasick?
No, when I go to town, I get land sick.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about living in Clackwood Sound on the west coast of Vancouver Island, it's the richest biomass on Earth. So the opportunity to fish for dinner is big. And I just can get in my canoe and paddle out. In 10 minutes, I can catch a fish. But when it's windy and too rough out there, I can just lay on the couch and fish out of the house. I was hoping to make a lot more money as an artist. So subsistence living was our only opportunity to have anything as artists. We could never buy real estate, so we had to make our own. It was a great opportunity to actually move away from the city to see if we could prosper out here. Now, 24 years later, we're still doing it.
I can't imagine living any other way. I feel completely fulfilled.
Oh, that's good, huh? That's really nice. I'm working on it.
7 miles off Estonia's west coast in Eastern Europe lies the small island of Kihnu, a bucolic and serene place that feels lost in time. Home to just 400 people, it functions like one of the world's few matriarchal societies. This is a place where women rule, well, mostly everything.
Hello, welcome to Kihnu Island.
My name is Mare Mätas. I lived almost all my life in this island. Our lifestyle is different comparing the lifestyle in the mainland. Many old traditions still are alive.
One such tradition is that Kihnu's men spend months away at sea fishing for the island. Meanwhile, Kihnu's women are in charge of leading the community and preserving its way of life.
Men were always a long time away from the island, and that's the historical reason why women become very strong, very independent. Kihnu culture is interesting because we still wear traditional costumes as everyday wearing.
She is making skirts because she has 5 granddaughters.
We have ancient folk songs still alive and dances. They have a lot of practical skills how to live all over the year here. Yes, life is more difficult here to survive. It's a treasure for Kihnu Islanders. They all describe the island like it's like a paradise. It's the best place in the world.
Mehed on meil rohkem ära ja neid me siin ümberkaudu või ümberringi väga ei kohtagi. Et naised on põhilised, keda me näeme siin nii vallaasutustes kui ka saare peal liikumas.
The clothes, the music, the dancing, all of it has been recognized by UNESCO on its intangible cultural heritage list.
Kihnu wedding songs and wedding traditions are more than 2,000 years old. So this is the main thing why we are in this UNESCO list.
The same list acknowledges Kihnu's women as the custodians of their island's heritage.
I concern every day that our unique culture can disappear. It's very valuable if those things still exist and survive in the modern world. It's really a miracle.
Okunoshima Island is a short 12-minute ferry ride from Hiroshima region of Japan. While the sandy and palm-lined beaches are perfect for holidaymakers, the island draws crowds for a different reason. Rabbits. Lots of them. And how they got there is a mystery. Between 1929 and 1945, the Japanese army secretly produced over 6,000 tons of poison gas on Okunoshima Island. Some believe the current rabbits are descendants of those brought to the island to test the gas, but the current director of the Poison Gas Museum insists these bunnies have nothing to do with those from the World War II era. So where do they come from?
いろんな、ウサギ、この島のウサギについてはいろんな諸説があるんですけども、
One theory?
ここに最初に連れてこられたのは1971年に、地元で飼っていた、地元の小学校で飼っていたウサギが飼えなくなってこの無人島であった島に蜂は持ってきたというふうに言われています。
So those rabbits were released, and with no real predators, they bred like rabbits. And yet another theory?
ウサギはあまり大きくないし可愛いしということで観光地になった時にウサギを飼い始めた。それが今大久野島でたくさん増えてですね。で観光客を喜ばしています。そういう状況がありますね。
Either way, this new generation of feral rabbits has the run of the land, and they're creating a new story separate from the sordid past of Okunoshima Island. An island once known for death is now known for possibly the cutest thing ever: bunnies.
Lake Titicaca is home to movable floating islands that were created by humans and where over 500 people still reside today. Living on not-so-solid ground isn't for everyone, but a small South American tribe in Peru, known as Uros, have created and maintained this unique way of life. The community is made up of roughly 70 human-made islands and one large central island, which is the hub for the tribe. They use dried reeds that grow along the banks of the lake and shape them into floating platforms and boats. These platforms can be moved from the mainland if required, which was originally a defense strategy to escape danger. The reeds are interwoven densely to be about 80 inches thick. Large logs are attached through the reeds and anchored to the river floor. Over time, the reeds tend to rot, and so they are replaced 4 times each year. The community is home to the new and old world. The reeds are used as medicine and the flowers drunk as tea. However, the solar panels are used to help run some electrical appliances, and the central island is home to a radio station. Until the mid-80s, the islands were located further out in the lake and were inaccessible by visitors. However, after a devastating storm, the tribe has moved closer to land and started welcoming tourists to experience their way of life.